This gives you a bit of an idea of what it's like managing a couple of properties. So it's Sunday the 15th of December, and next weekend we've got my family down here for Christmas. And what we're going to do, we brought the caravan down because some of us will sleep in the caravan, well, Troy and I and maybe Harrison. We need to put it here, but first we need to mow this lawn so it's nice and short before we put the caravan in. So that's where either H or Troy comes in. So yeah, today is really about setting up for Christmas next weekend. So as soon as that's mowed, we're going to put the caravan into position, set up the mat, and yeah, feels like summer holidays already. Cheers, darling.
Cheers. Well, this is our very first ever
Cheers, Bill.
Q&A. Oh,
The
we've got someone in the background.
The man behind the camera.
Yeah, someone in the background eagerly waiting to get a hold of some of those questions, isn't he?
All right, welcome to our very first Q&A. Long time coming, but the reason we've put this off for a while is because you guys know a lot about us and we involve you in everything with our family, our travels, our caravan, our dogs, our Hipcamp, our farm, the list goes on.
The works. Every little thing. Probably know more about us than we know about ourselves, to be fair.
So I feel like we haven't really needed to do a Q&A, but here we are. End of 2024, and we're going to spill the beans.
We were extremely surprised. We literally didn't think we'd get many questions, but we've been inundated with so many questions.
Look at this.
And they're all really good questions, I think.
Yeah.
So strap yourselves in for this one, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and follow our journey if you like the content. We're just out having a go like anyone else, and if you don't like what you see, then just don't watch it.
Exactly.
Just move on.
Just move on, unsubscribe.
Exactly.
Find someone else.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got a few topics to go through. The main questions that we got were about our car, the caravan, the Hipcamp, our family, YouTube, travel, and one question about the farm. So let's start with family. I'll ask the questions about this one and you can answer. Alright, sweetheart.
Yes.
Question from Sarah. How old is Harrison?
Harrison's 15, so he goes into year 10 next year. And yeah, he's 15, but he's got probably the maturity of a 20-year-old.
Really?
Yeah. He's wisdom. He's got wisdom. That's what I'll say. He's very wise for a young fella.
All right. Question from John. Troy, does Laura enjoy a beer? A cold beer?
In the whole time I've known Laura, I've never ever seen her have a drink of beer. No. Not once. So I'd say no, which is probably a good thing because King Billy and I make up for it.
I don't mind a cider, so I love a pear cider, and an apple cider is okay, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
No beer, no, what do you call that? Shit wine?
Red wine?
No, like Chardonnays and
yeah,
Sauv Blancs.
she
I
doesn't
hate all those house wines.
Yeah, she won't have Rieslings or anything like that. Moscato's Laura's go-to, and Sienna for red wine. Otherwise, that's it. Yeah. But Laura doesn't drink a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just having rarely.
Having a little Prosecco at the moment, which is from our wedding. Another question for you, sweetheart, from Peter. What is Troy's job, and do you work in the factory?
Yeah, so my job is furniture restoration. That's what that was my apprenticeship growing up, and I stuck with that, travelled a fair bit when I was about 20 and come back to my apprenticeship, finished it off, ended up being manager and then started my own business. So I've had the business, furniture restoration business, for about 18 years, and it's been a good business. You know, there's not a lot of people that do what we do, so I've enjoyed it. I've had apprentices, I've had people that work for me for a long time, and they've gone off and done their own thing, and now I'm just back by myself, and yes, I do it out of the factory. So a few people wanted to know what I actually do for work. I'm a qualified furniture restorer, which is pretty something different that not many people know about, but this is the sort of thing that we do. This is like a mum and dad's dining table. It's been in the family for generations, and I've restored that back to new. So this is a beautiful red gum table that was in quite bad shape when I got it. Then we might do some commercial work, which is these are kitchen kickers, just a spotted gum kitchen that I'm doing. So move on. This is part of the kitchen. This is part of the table that you just saw just back there. Beautiful red gum table. Perhaps some blackwood little side tables here. These were in pretty bad shape as well. So these are clients that I've done work for years and years, and they just keep bringing furniture back through their family to get restored. So they've come up really nice. This final piece here that I have in the factory just before Christmas is just a buffet that some removalists had damaged the top of it. So the insurance company wants that all fixed and sorted out. So that's all, we're good to go. So that's what I do. Pretty exciting stuff, isn't it? So that gives me the opportunity to tinker with the caravan at times in between jobs, or if I'm not too busy. So a lot of people say, geez, do you ever work? But behind the scenes, yeah, I do. I've got a lot of different roles that I play, with its quoting, with its restoring. And I work by myself now. I used to have apprentices, but now I don't, and I love it. It gives me more flexibility.
You kind of do. Who comes to work with you?
Killy.
Who comes to work with Daddy every day?
You're the luckiest dog in the world, aren't you?
Yeah, and when I can, I'll help him out, pick up furniture or deliver furniture or flip tables.
Yeah.
And
I've even had Harrison come out and help me with tables and stuff like that. So,
but when you're in the factory and you don't have a lot to do, or your furniture's being stripped, you've got the ability to work on the caravan if you need to, or the car, or come to the farm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I've got a question from Robin. Laura, your job must be very flexible to accommodate your travel plans. Is there any time you just want to stay at home and rest up and chill out? How do you keep on top of the everyday home and farm jobs? For those of you that don't know, I work for Yarra Trams. It's Monday to Friday, and I'm on call every 14 weeks. I wouldn't say it's flexible. I don't get to work from home, so therefore I don't get to work from the farm. However, they were very kind to me at the start of this year, or at the end of last year, in giving me 3 months off in the end to travel around Australia and do what I wanted to do. So it
was supposed to be longer, but it ended up being 3 months. So
it was supposed to be 6 months, but it ended up being 3 for various reasons. I am very lucky in that regard. It wasn't long service leave, it was just unpaid leave.
Yep.
Second question to that from Robin was, is there any time you just want to stay at home and rest up and chill out, and how do I keep on top of everyday home and farm jobs? Yep. So yes, that is a very good question. I do. Last weekend Troy went on man trip, so I had 4 days to myself to really rest, and to be honest, after one day I got bored. So I only really need 1 day to just do nothing, no editing, no filming, no cleaning, and then I'm good to go. So I do get that every so often. We did make a change halfway through this year with the farm, in that I couldn't manage all of these properties and the caravan together. It was starting to get to me, just cleaning everything. So we ended up, Bill's got a cleaner, which he can talk to in a minute, but we got a cleaner for our farmhouse, and she comes every month and does a 2-hour clean. So when we come down to the farmhouse is spotless, and I don't have to clean. No bathrooms, no floors, no walls, nothing. It's just done.
And it works. It's not that Laura does all the cleaning either,
no, but when we're cleaning our house in Mentone, when we're keeping the caravan clean, and then you clean the farm, like all we're doing is cleaning and maintaining.
I'll be down at the farm and I'll be like cleaning the yard and getting all ready for that. So the last thing you want to do is come in and clean the house.
And then your downtime, so you'll come down here, you'll mow all the lawns, you might fix some fences and that, but then you'll sit in the spa and get your downtime too.
That's right.
So yes, we do get some time. You guys might not see that, but we do have our days where we don't film, we don't edit, and we might have some episodes up our sleeve. Bill from Phil Phil wants to know about King Billy's bourbon and is it like Makers?
It's very close. I've had no complaints so far, so...
You've been distilling for 4 years. Yeah.
4 or 5 years, yeah.
But before that, you were brewing and...
Yeah.
So this is a taste of what you make. So that the front is the real Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
The contents is King Billy's.
Yeah.
And as you can see, what's that in there?
Vanilla bean.
The vanilla bean.
Yeah, I was getting the vanilla beans from Madagascar.
Yep.
But now I've started using not the imitation vanilla essence, the true vanilla essence.
I mean the extract.
Yeah.
Good. And what else do you make, Bill?
Yeah,
it's not just King Billy's. What else do you make?
I make a very nice gin, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been told, and I usually use frozen berries, or I did make some watermelon gin. And usually mixed berries and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you also make a good spice rum. Don't leave that out.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a go at that. Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short, Bill. You had a trial of the peach schnapps. Now, I'd have to say that's a bit of a fail, but you can keep trying.
Yeah, no, I did. First I tried pineapple snaps, and that was, just... But anyway, I'll work on that.
For next Christmas.
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, topic number 2 is very fitting because Bill helps out a lot with this for us, which we really appreciate. Topic number 2 is about our Hipcamp. Okay, so Dave has asked, how's the Hipcamp going with bookings? Have you got plans for more sites?
The Hipcamp has gone off ever since we started it. Everyone that's come has absolutely loved it, said that they'd love to come back and rebook. And when we're down here, we love catching up with like-minded people as well. So that's gone really well. As far as has it been booked out? Yeah, pretty much. There's only very few weekends where there's no one here. Literally, someone just booked tonight and rocked in. So a Dutch couple. So yeah, we're really pleased with the feedback that we're getting from everyone, and we're constantly trying to improve it as well. So and keep it neat and taking on feedback from people that might think one site's not as good as the other or whatever.
No, they're all pretty good. They've all got their pros and cons, like anything in life. In terms of more sites here, we've got 3 sites here. I don't think we're going to extend at Buffalo. I'd
never say never. Our other paddocks that we have here are for cattle and sheep at the moment, and we feed the family with that. So we're pretty reluctant to have too many, and then you've got council regulations and stuff as well that you need to be mindful of, and your neighbours. Our neighbours are very far away, but you still need to be respectful and not overload it.
Yeah.
So we'll probably keep it around 3 to 6 at the max.
Question from Billy. Are you still doing your Hipcamp since you are off around Australia?
Yes, it's pretty self-sufficient, the Hipcamp. And we have Dad here, King Billy, so he meet and greets people. But generally people don't really... No one needs to be down here. You could literally book the site, rock in, and everything's numbered and plated, and there's signs around to direct you in the right area. So we don't need to be here to manage it, and that's how we wanted it.
So when you make a booking, you'll get a personalised email from us, from our Journey Unknown account, and it will tell you all about the area and all about the property. And like Troy said, there's signs around the property, where to get your firewood, your eggs, where to put your rubbish, your cans and bottles, and where to let your dogs off the leash if you brought them. So it's very well maintained, and congrats to us because we got a Host Star Award, and it's only been going for
that's right.
4 months. And that's thanks to all you guys that have stayed and given us great reviews.
Yeah, that's right. Doesn't go without notice.
A question from Off Track Pods. Have you had any strange people stay at our Hipcamp?
No, we haven't. We've actually had unbelievable like-minded travellers that we yarn to and have a really good conversation, and we love it.
Yeah.
Like, we touch wood, but we think the most people that come down are just awesome.
Yeah.
So
most people that have come down have been our followers, and then the rest have just found us off the Hipcamp app.
yeah,
and
like we've got backpackers here now.
Yeah,
So-
and they're still lovely.
Yeah.
Kev asks, when will you open a Ceduna Hipcamp?
Well, that's just around the corner. Our plans are to get down there and get there in January, end of Jan. Yeah, we'll get there end of January, and we'll mark out some camp spots there.
Okay, so that answers Elizabeth's question. Will you be turning your Ceduna property into a Hipcamp? Yes, we will. We now have Buffalo up and running extremely well, but it is being maintained, whereas Ceduna will be non-maintained. It'll literally just be slashed, sites carved out. There'll be no fire pits, no picnic tables, no eggs, no firewood. It's just literally drive your caravan in and look at the sea.
There'll be amazing views.
Yeah.
Which it's more of a, caravan parks get too full in Ceduna. There's a place there you can stay for, I don't know, what's it going to be, about $20 a night or something.
Yeah, it's not going to be...
It's going to be
So
pretty
here,
affordable.
we charge $30 a night for unpowered. At Ceduna, we'll charge $20 a night. And we don't worry about how many people you've got on your site. So you can have 5 people, family of 5, family of 6, doesn't matter to us. It's
as long as you let us know.
Yeah. How you manage it yourself. King Billy, we mentioned, lives at the farm. So he is here every day greeting our hip campers, morning, afternoon, night time.
Yeah.
It's been 4 months, Bill. Do we need to start giving you a pay rise?
I don't think so.
Hang on, when he starts paying rent, then he can start getting a pay rise.
How's it been, Bill? What's your verdict, your summary of the hip camp?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
I've met some lovely people.
Yeah.
No problems, nothing there. No, there's no problems. They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
They're just
And it actually,
everybody people look like we are.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just they're great.
Some people actually come to stay to meet you, Bill.
Oh,
Do you know that?
I don't know why, but I'm nothing special. But
And do you feel like you've got more of a sense of purpose now that...
Down here? For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. It's great to meet new people and
Yeah.
and it's just
Gives you company?
yeah, it gives me company. And look, people come, I just go and greet them and look, say if you ever need anything, just give me a call, and there's no problem, and there's never been a problem. Everybody's been really wonderful. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Bill, because we're booked out from the 22nd of December until the 16th of January.
Well, that's all right. That's
You'll
fine.
be well and truly entertaining for a couple of weeks.
I meet them and have a beer and have a bit of a chat. And
It's great because Bill can give the grass and the sites a little bit of a mow in between if it needs it. If Troy can't get down here or we're away. So yes, Buffalo does need a little bit of maintaining, and that's why we need to get here when we can to make it great for you guys.
That's it.
All right, sweetheart, this one's your domain. So we've got one question, only one question about the farm.
Yep.
That's from Stephen. And what do we do for home insurance while we're away for extended periods?
Oh, I remember this comment coming in. So I think what you're alluding to is that if you're not at the property for an extended period of time, insurance companies won't insure you because you're not there.
But how would they know that?
It's not habitable. I don't know. I've never heard of that before, but what I can say is there's always someone here. If it's not Dad, it's my family, Laura's family. So when we're away, we actually do have people here all the time.
We actually have cameras, so we can tune into that at any time and see what's going on here.
Yeah, but as far as an insurance thing, there's always someone here. So we get insured by for the Hipcamp through the Hipcamp app, and they take a percentage of the income that comes into the Hipcamp, and that covers us for 20 million or something.
20 mil, yeah.
Public
liability.
But other than that, we still have public liability with our own home insurance.
Yep.
And contents insurance. So yeah, we don't. That's all I can really say about that.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been on a 12-month lap, even with Bill as such. So we can't answer that fully, but what we can say is we have insurance. All right, moving on to the car. Do you want to ask these questions now? Come on, darling. It's a team effort.
Joanne, Josie.
Joanne and Josie.
Okay. Well, you've just gone Joanne, Josie, so that's how I read it.
Ask the same question.
Joanne, Josie, and Josie. Where did you get your lolly organizer from?
All right. She's quite heavy. This little beauty. Have you seen this one, Bill?
I think we actually
It's nicely stocked.
on our last episode we did describe where we got that from.
So we got it from Temu. Yeah, Temu. It's the hot online shopping. It'll grab you by the gangoolies, as Troy would say, and it will spin you around until you buy.
Yeah.
And I got sucked in.
Yeah. Laura's a bit of a sucker for that sort of stuff, where I've got to rein her in every now and then, but never mind. So
Didn't get me this morning, darling.
And she would like to know if that is food grade.
And
plastic.
I have looked into that. I actually went to the Temu website and it wouldn't tell me. All it's got on the back is that it can be stored from minus 20 degrees to 60 degrees. It's food
grade.
Well, it's got the fork and the drink, and I don't know what that is. It's a recycling 1 PET. I don't know what that means.
Look, this day and age, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't matter. There's that many bloody rubbish that goes into your system. Like, seriously.
We're fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay. If you need to know that it's BPA free of parabens and all that stuff, then do your research. But I don't think we could find anything to state that it was BPA free or anything like that. So probably suggest that it's not. But yeah, do your own research there. Pauline, are there any other DA45 options for the 4-ton towing on a 200 series? I can only talk about the 300 series because that's obviously what we have. And I'm not aware of any other companies offering the 4-ton towing upgrade apart from the Lovels, but what I would say, if you do find them and you can use the DA45, then do that. And let us know too, because you know, obviously we've purchased this massive kit from Lovels that we have to use to tow up to 4-ton, but and we're just doing that for insurance purposes. Alright,
so Nicole, how are you going with your Lovels coupling and hitch, and do you miss the DA45 coupling and the Rebellion hitch? 100% I miss the DA35 and DA45 because they're really easy to use. Laura can use it easy, I can use it easy. It's a bit of a no-brainer. We're getting used to the Lovels coupling. It's not as bad as initially we found it. Like it is usable. You just got to always make sure you've got some silicone spray on the coupling itself. Yeah, that's just what we've got to use. So yeah, Laura's been using it more and more to get used to it, which is great.
Yeah, it's much easier when there's two of you. So one of you can guide you in, the other one can lower the blackjack.
It needs to be exactly over the pin to make it line up properly. It's
not easy, but like I said,
doable.
we have to use it.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't want to be in a rush.
To answer your question, yes, we do miss the DO45 and 35.
Tanya has asked, do you think a big UHF system would be useful?
And I'm guessing by that question,
when you're talking about
Tanya,
big, it's just like a UHF, built-in UHF.
That's it, built into your car, or whether can you get away with a handheld one?
If you can't, personally, I prefer the proper built-in with a good range antenna. The reason being is because if you're on highways and you have little hills and mountains, and you've got, for instance, say, you know, a big road train coming another way, or a big oversized load with a pilot, you're going to have much more range. So you're going to hear that something's coming a lot further. And even though they're not talking directly to you, you're going to hear the conversation that they're talking to someone else, and you won't get that with a handheld. A handheld is only literally, you might get a kilometre at the most.
Well, it depends how good your handheld one
is.
Well,
it depends on a lot of things. Mainly it depends on how flat the area is at the time, and the wind and everything else. So personally, I would definitely get a fitted UHF in your car and have a handheld, so that way your partner can go outside and
Yeah.
talk to you as well when you're trying to reverse and stuff like that. All right, this is all about YouTube
The tube.
conversations. So Paul, and I think this is Paul Tabane. So
Yes.
Hi, Paul. Can we have a live chat? Can you have a live chat with your followers? We probably will one day. I think because we're just flat out, you know, darting around everywhere and doing what we do. We don't really have the opportunity to sit down with good internet at a good spot.
Yeah, that's the main thing is
Yeah.
that we've seen people do live chats before and it can be really out of sync. The internet can drop in and out.
Yeah, you
It's
need
not-
really good internet
It's
at
not
the time.
that great, so we
Yeah.
prefer to do it this way. You guys ask the questions, we'll answer them.
It's not to say that we won't do it, but thanks for that question,
Yeah.
Paul. The next question is from Phil. What camera equipment do you use?
Phil saw us using a still camera once. Now
Yeah.
that was a long time ago. Phil, we got that camera which was a Canon. I think you thought it was a Sony. It's a Canon camera. We just use it to take shots around the farm. It's too big to take on tour for us.
Yeah.
We bought an extra lens for it so we can zoom in when we have koalas
It's
and
a good
lambs
camera.
and stuff. Yeah, it's a really good
Yeah.
camera.
It's just heavy to lug around. It's pretty big.
And it's not, it only films in 10-minute intervals at 1080p, not 4K, so it's quite old. So we don't use it for GoPro, for YouTube.
Yeah. And then the other camera gear that we use is a GoPro. So it's a GoPro 10 that we're on now.
Yeah.
GoPro 10 that we're filming from now. We've had a lot of issues with GoPros.
As
we're
many YouTubers do.
We're trying out the Insta 360. But it doesn't have the microphone on it, so it doesn't have the cover, and it gets quite windy and stuff. And so we're still navigating our way through cameras and the sound quality and all that sort of stuff. We'll probably look at a DJI camera next and just sort of weigh it up, what works, what doesn't. The next question is from Wombi.
Yep.
And
these are your YouTube names,
yeah.
by the way.
So Wombi's asked, does filming and trying to get content ever take away from the actual holiday? For us, it doesn't. I don't think. We have plenty of time to kick back and relax, and we enjoy filming it.
I guess it probably looks like we film a lot. And, you know, to film this will probably take 1 hour.
Yeah.
But that's just 1 hour out of our day. Otherwise, we've been sitting on the couch in between doing all this stuff at the farm today, just kicking back.
I've been watching the cricket. It's
Yeah.
probably my down day that I've had, and I literally just fell asleep on the couch because I was knackered from a massive week of work and Christmas parties and everything else. So, but it never takes away from our holiday. When we're on holidays, we have so much time, so we
do.
We enjoy filming. If anything, the only thing it does is we'll be, oh, I've got to film this episode, and you know, especially if we're working, there's times when you couldn't really be bothered, but then but that's not a holiday, that's you're literally at work, so you've worked all week and then you're like, oh, let's sit down tonight and film an episode. But once you start it, it's just like, oh yeah, it's easy. So no, it's not really a drama for us. We enjoy doing what we do.
But if it does become a hindrance on our holidays, then we'll look twice.
We'll put the camera down.
Yeah. Or if you know, say we want to go to Bali or something, we've already shown you Bali, we won't take the camera next time. Things like that.
All right, Phil, how much do you make on YouTube now with 11k subs versus 1k subs? That's a really good question. It fluctuates from, I think when we were 1k sub, we might have got $1,000 a month.
Our very first.
I'm guessing that one, but.
So you only get paid from YouTube from $100 plus. So the minimum you have to make is $100 to get paid. The very first month we got monetized was $182.50.
Yeah.
So that was at 1k subs. And what we can tell you is last month for November, we made $3,617. The more money you make is when you're traveling. When you stop traveling or you're in between caravans, your views are going to drop. because your content drops and the interest from your followers drop. And then as soon as we bought our new caravan, it just peaked.
Yeah, but people are interested in caravans and travelling, so when you combine all those together, obviously you'll get more views, and it all comes down to how long they watch the adverts for as well. So you could have 30,000 subscribers, but if people aren't watching your channel or watching the adverts, you're not going to make much money.
That's right.
at all.
So don't be fooled by those people that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, because if they're only getting 50k views on one episode, then that's not a lot of money that they're making in comparison to how many subscribers they've got. All right, that's YouTube. All right, Bill, I've got another question for you.
Okay.
It's from your daughter-in-law. How do you find being on YouTube, you and your daughter?
Me and my daughter.
Your daughter? Your fur baby?
Yeah, it's all right. I don't mind it. Just it's different.
Did you watch last week's episode?
Yeah, that was the.
There was 10 minutes of footage of our travels.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, nostalgic.
Yeah.
It did, yeah, because it was like I've said to a lot of people. You jump in a plane and you go somewhere and you like Perth or wherever, 3 hours or whatever. But when you actually do the trip and you actually it computes how huge this country is, and people just don't understand how large this country is. It's and to me, look, I've said it for many years. This is the greatest country in the world, and people just don't understand
how great this country is.
They don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
I get it. The next topic is all about the caravan, our new caravan. Nicole asks, will you be fitting a dishwasher in this van?
We have one, Nicole. It's in the cupboard. So yes, exactly the same dishwasher as what we had in the last van, and we thought it was fantastic. Great Aussie don't warrant the dishwasher, but it doesn't bother us. It's $450. If something goes wrong with it, we'll pull it out and change it over.
Yeah. So in our last van, we had Troy actually installed the dishwasher, and it was front facing, but we actually got Great Aussie to install it this time, and they've put it within a cupboard, so that's why you can't see it. That's probably why you don't think we've got a dishwasher, but 100% we have got a dishwasher.
I actually preferred it to be shown. It was a bit
of feature.
Yeah, and it was when it was on, it just, I don't know, it's just something about it because it's got the glass front. It just looked
therapeutic.
Good. Yeah, it's therapeutic
to watch.
But anyway, it's hidden away and all plumbed in properly, so love it.
Before the next question. Yep. Deborah asks, what brand of kettle, how many litres is it, and how much did it cost?
That's a Smeg kettle. You got it on special, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember where?
That was at David Jones, I think. They had a special one. We wanted just a small one. We only need a couple of cups of tea.
Yeah, so it's the mini.
Usually, I don't drink a lot of cups of tea. Laura doesn't either. It's more for Laura's parents if they're here with us, or Dad every now and then. We might have a cup of tea, but generally I'll drink coffee and Laura drinks hot chocolate. How much was this?
To be honest, we bought it for the caravan show because it looks nice and that's my favourite colour. Well, didn't actually buy it for practicality.
To be honest, Laura purchased it, and if I had known that, then we probably
wouldn't have purchased it.
I probably just would have got a Russell Hobbs.
It doesn't say
the power use.
No, it doesn't say how many litres it is, but I will look it up for you, Deborah.
I reckon that's about 5 litres.
And it does say on the bottom that it's 1400 watts.
Yeah.
This question is well and truly up your alley, darling.
Right.
Because you are all over this.
Okay. This will be good.
This is from Karen. Karen with an I.
Yeah.
Are we happy with the new composting toilet, or would we prefer the old cassette toilet?
100% the new composting toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. it still blows me away how it works. Like it just doesn't smell. It's clean. I know. I was concerned about the whole toilet paper thing, but no, it's not worried at all now.
No,
it's very easy to use. Doesn't smell. It just goes into the bin. That's all. Breaks down. It's all recyclable paper and bags. Yeah.
Compostable.
Yeah.
Compostable.
So yeah, absolutely love it. If we were to build a new van tomorrow, we'd get the same toilet.
Yeah.
Ogo toilet.
I think.
Love it.
I think the key here is the bin. So putting the toilet paper in the waste bin, and I happen to find a very practical bin for that as a solution. So that's worked really well. The bin doesn't smell, the toilet doesn't smell, outside doesn't smell, and I've looked in the bucket a couple of times, and I'm actually really proud of what's in there.
It's just soil. It looks like soil.
I showed my sister. I said, "Come and have a look at this," and she's like, "Are you for real?" And
you could literally put your head in there and you wouldn't smell it. It's just crazy.
We've done well with. Absolutely love our Ogo toilet. I mean, we'll do a proper review on that after about 6 months. So when we first empty it, we'll give you a review on it.
Yeah, the urine part's so simple and basic as well. Yeah.
Okay. Fly swatter. Jeanette wants to know, where did you get your Australian fly swatter from?
The whacker.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of. This was up near Marble Bar, wasn't it? You just had enough of the flies.
We had so many flies in the car, and I needed a fly swatter for the caravan and the car because it was just out of control. So I think we just bought that from a roadhouse.
It was, yeah. It was
quite cool though.
It was up near Marble Bar, so that's the whacker.
Michelle is asking, and King Billy flows into this question. Michelle's asking, what security or alarms are best for leaving the caravan in caravan parks and or free camps? Is there a device you can buy to check on your caravan safely? So we've got a few options.
Yeah, 100%. And this is where King Billy's bloody great, because he thinks outside the square, and he come across this. It's called Solid GPS, and it's a yearly subscription of $70, and it will pinpoint exactly where you are. And the other thing that it does is you can hit emergency, and it'll show you exactly where it is. So if someone knocks off the van, the battery lasts about 3 months, and then it'll notify you here on your app that the battery's low, you need to charge it. So if someone was to steal the van, so to speak, we could tell exactly where it is at any particular time. And that device is hidden in the caravan, which I guarantee you no one will find it.
No.
Yeah.
So we have a little tracking device to be able to track our caravan. So to answer your question, Michelle, if we were in WA and we had to fly back to Melbourne for any reason, we could still track our caravan back in WA and make sure it's in the spot that we stored it in, and not it's not gone wandering.
Yeah.
The other device that we use in the caravan, which you guys have seen many times before, is our outdoor camera. So we actually plug it into one of the cupboards, anywhere that there's a USB port, so we can watch what's going on in the caravan.
Yeah.
So that's when we leave Coco in the van, or Coco and Molly, or if we need to leave the caravan for several hours, we'll leave the camera on, and we'll have it facing the door and the windows to make sure that no one's trying to break and enter.
Yeah.
But in terms of leaving the caravan, we don't have Wi-Fi. The alarm.
No, we don't. We used to have the lock that goes into the DA35, which is the Cruise Master lock, and I think that's a really good idea if you've got a Cruise Master hitch.
All right, the last question about our caravan is from our friends at Off Track Pods. They want to know, darling, and probably everyone else wants to know, the biggest question for YouTubers is, what the hell is our caravan deal?
What's the deal? The deal is exactly how we spoke about the deal last time. I think when we purchased the van, and the deal is that,
well, there is no deal.
There's actually no deal. It's basically we got a discount from Great Aussie because we sat down, designed the van ourselves. They get some input into it. We get some input into it. They get to sell more vans.
They get photos and videos from us.
Yeah. So we didn't go to a dealer, so to speak. So we were very fortunate in that respect. It would be negligent for us to turn around and say exactly what that deal is, because one, we're going to undermine the dealer, and two, we're going to undermine Great Aussie, and it's not us to do that. So we got a discount. And one thing I will say is, when we went to the Brisbane show, there was a couple that purchased a van very similar to ours, and they got a very similar deal to what we got. So you guys can get the same deal.
Yeah.
You just got to be at the right place at the right time.
You can't assume that every YouTuber on YouTube or content creator is getting a free caravan or a caravan at half price or this or that. There are YouTubers, and they have blatantly said that they have a deal with the manufacturer, and it's no one else's real business as to what that is. But that's how they get paid to fund their travels. We work full time. We don't need Great Aussie to pay us for anything because we've got income coming in ourselves.
We were just wrapped that we were able to sit down and design this van exactly how we wanted it, because no other caravan manufacturer that we spoke to was going to do it. So that was worth our weight in gold for us.
It's a touchy one because we've copped it a lot. So I think that's coming out in our answer. But hand on heart, we paid a hell of a lot of money for this, and hence why we're not doing the lap right now, because
that's right.
We can't afford it.
Well, we still need to work, and there's other reasons, which brings us on to
our next topic. To wrap up this final episode of the Q&A.
It feels like it's gone for 3 hours.
It has. It's taken us a while to get through it, but we really appreciate the questions. And the last ones that we've got is about travelling.
Okay, so Julie wants to know what's happening in Traralgon. I think you mentioned last week that we're heading to Traralgon, and I sort of gave a bit of a, oh my God, we're going. I grew up in Traralgon, so that was the reason why I gave that bit of a sigh. Not that I actually don't mind Traralgon, still like it. But anyway, she wants to know what's happening in Traralgon. Laura's nieces and nephews, which are my nieces and nephews now, considering we're married, we want to take the kids down there. They've got a big 4 parked right on the highway, and there's lots of rope courses and lots of things that the kids would love to do. So we're going to take the kids down there, and then we'll take them to Walhalla, which is just outside of Maui, and take them on the train. So we're looking forward to that. Bit of family time as always.
So that particular episode's going to be camping with kids, and that's why I want to take my niece and nephew away. And I thought this caravan park in Traralgon looks like the bee's knees, and they're just going to love it, and they love train, so Walhalla's going to tick that box for them as well.
Yeah, and we're going to take King Billy back down to the RSL because that's his local RSL, and he's a bit of a legend down there. So we'll take him down there. Damien's asked, when are you coming to Traralgon? I can't believe we get so many questions about Traralgon.
Yeah, because Damien wants to catch up with us.
What's the date?
The 3rd of Jan.
3rd of Jan. So there you go.
The weekend of the 3rd of Jan, but that's not to say that we will have time to catch up with anyone. This is a family trip, so
if you rock into the RSL on the Saturday night, you'll see us. Yeah. So that's probably the best way to come and have a beer.
Yeah.
Shaz, what are your plans for Christmas and New Year? That's a good one. So this Christmas, we're having Christmas down here with Laura's family and King Billy and Harrison, and that's probably a week before Christmas, and then we're off to Tokemore for Christmas Day. So we'll be in Tokemore Christmas Day, just
for 4 nights.
Yeah, just hanging out with friends. So that will be fun. John, when are you coming to Tokemore? Oh, I should have pre-read these questions. Yeah, like I said, we'll there Christmas onwards. Amanda, how do you choose where you are going each week? That's a question for you.
No, babe, yeah. You're asking and answering the questions.
Laura Ford thinks I'm a doer. I just do. Like on that particular day, I just do what I got to do. If she bombards me with what we're doing, in 6 weeks' time, I'm like, well, I don't know how much work I've got, blah, blah, blah. So generally, Laura will just pinpoint what she wants to do. She's already got it planned out, and then we come together and work out whether that can happen or not. So once again, Laura's very well organised, and it's probably something that I need as well, because like I said, I'm a bit off the fly. I'll just go with the flow. Marita wants to know about the folder with all the tabs. I'm assuming that's this here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This pink thing.
Yeah.
This is Laura's domain.
Yeah. Can't tell. I haven't. Yeah. There's no hole puncher at the farm. I can't seem to find it. But anyway, you would have seen this in our big lap trip. I made this folder purposely for us traveling around Oz earlier this year. And I got some tabs and I divided it, sorry darling, I divided between all the different states, so Victoria, SA, WA, Northern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, Tassie, and then I had an extra tab down here for cruising. So when I would research places or make bookings, I'd print out the documents and I'd put them into each state so we knew where we were going, where we were staying, had we paid for it, or did we only pay a deposit, yeah, and what was in the area. So I've got some examples here. So we've recently booked a cruise. This is our payment and itinerary. So we're going on a cruise, all of us, for your 50th next year. So that'll go into the folder. And then we also have a trip coming up next year, which we'll talk about shortly. And that's why there's a map of New South Wales and some road trip information there. So I will do as much research as I can and I'll put them into the folder, and then we take this on tour. And people can read it. Like, you know, Harrison, Bill, Troy can read it in the car and go, where are we going? What are we doing? What's there to see here?
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Why are you shaking your head, Bill? What's that?
And mine just boggles.
How?
I just can't keep up with it.
Well, the thing about, obviously, you need to plan, especially this day and age. It's not like you can just go on a whim anymore.
No, of course you can't. No, you have to. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
All right, so Nicole wants to know, when you free camp in different places, what information did you use to know if it was safe or not? That's a really difficult one. You can obviously go on your wiki camps and your Campedia and
Camps
Australia and all that sort of stuff, and you can get and look at reviews. Generally, that's probably what you do. But when we go to places that we've got no idea, we'll just follow our instinct. If it feels a bit dodgy, and we've done this before, we've just packed up and gone.
No.
I always use Camps Australia app to find all our free camps, caravan parks, low-cost camps. Then I look at the photos. They must have photos. So I'll scroll through all the photos and I'll say to myself, can I see us camping there?
Then you look at reviews.
Yeah. How many stars it's got.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. A lot of the time it comes down to your gut feel. So you
100%.
turn up. If you don't feel like it's right, if you don't feel like there's more than one escape route or something, then just go.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. This question's from Hayden and Liv. Must do places in SA on the York and the Eyre Peninsulas. So they're going there next year. They want to know what are the must-dos in SA on those peninsulas, which we absolutely love. Like we did the York for the first time this year, and we've done the Eyre a few times because of our property in Ceduna.
Yeah.
But what would be your highlights on the York or the Eyre?
Well, you're probably asking the wrong person because I forget names really quickly.
Okay.
But when you mention the place, I'll say, yep, I know, that's awesome.
So there's probably 3 places on the York that I would recommend. The first one was Ben Berners Beach, which was one of the first places that we stayed at. We stayed there instead of Point Turton. Now everyone goes to Point Turton and stays at the caravan park.
Yeah.
To be upfront with you, it's a very small caravan park. It's on the point. It's very hard to get into, and there's one little swimming hole that everyone goes to.
Yeah, it's just packed. Like
Yeah.
it is a nice little quaint place, but it's
a beautiful beach, but it's
when it's busy, it's busy.
Yeah, and it's netted, so you can only swim in the one little square.
A lot of divers go out from there as well, so it makes the jetty even busier.
So we went a bit further down around the point to Ben Berners Beach, and we absolutely loved it there.
That was good.
That was one place that we enjoyed. The second place was Tapara Rocks.
Yeah.
So that's where there's only a few sites there, so you got to be careful. We drove there. It's a little bit off-road, backed into this site, and then loved it. We did unfortunately get a bit of wind, but that's always going to happen no matter where you go.
Yeah.
But it was just a serenity, and the dogs could run off leash. It was it was really good.
It was good. The beach was great.
And the sites were quite big.
Yeah.
The third place on the York that we loved was Port Hughes. So we spent the money and stayed at a caravan park there. I think it might have been the Big Four.
The water there was next level.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just what you see at Palubi Beach and Warralty Beach, you got at Port Hughes.
Yeah.
But you pay to stay at a caravan park. But then you've got all the facilities. You've got the swimming pool.
It's a really good park as well. Like it's easy access to the beach. You've
right.
Literally got your own access.
You got the tavern and the fish and chips just down the road.
There's a jetty around the corner you can fish off.
Yeah.
Which I think that's where Harrison got his
squid. Yeah. So there's your jetty. There's your like little bay sort of swimming area. Then you got your ocean. And so they were my highlights.
That
for
would
the
probably
York.
be my top.
Yeah.
For
Port
swimming.
Hughes.
Yeah.
On the air, there's a couple of places on the air. One is a place that we went to on our first trip together, which was Lipson Cove.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's a bloody ripper.
And we're hanging to go back there. We're going to try and go there next year if we can, but we'll see.
Really good for snorkeling. Really good for fishing. Although the day I was fishing there was like 3,000 dolphins in there, so there was no fish. But anyway, the snorkeling was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, hay fever.
We had a good time.
It was. You did some abalone searching as well.
Yeah, there's probably I think there's only about 5 sites there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's not many.
Yeah, not a lot of sites, so it's best in, best dressed.
Yeah.
But they're good sites.
So Lipson Cove is probably further south, like towards your Port Lincoln area. But it is, we actually took the ferry from the York to the Air instead of driving around to Port Augusta. So that's a little handy tip if you want to save time. Yes, it is very costly. Not as costly as the Spirit of Tassie, but it is expensive depending on the length of your car and caravan. But it does save a little bit of time.
Yeah.
On the air, we've got Lipson Cove. My other highlight would have to be Streaky Bay. Again, we stayed at a caravan park, and we stayed at the one right on the foreshore, and we had a waterfront site. So you literally hop out of your caravan and you walk straight into the water. Yeah,
there's a ripping caravan park, but it was very tight to get into. Very tight. So, and it was packed, but it's like a holiday destination everyone goes to. It's got some great cafes and great coffee shops there. So highly recommend Streaky Bay.
There's a really good restaurant there that we go to all the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it
Oysters
right now.
are amazing.
But you always get the oysters there. So that's Lipson Cove, Streaky Bay, Ceduna. Obviously, that's one of our favourites to go to.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard recently is the York and the Air now have a lot of low-cost camps that you have to book online. So I don't know if there's as many pay when you get there with cash anymore. I think it's a lot of online stuff. So make sure you got internet and card facilities, obviously.
It changes all the time. So
okay, Stu Mac asks tips about insurances for car, caravan, health, Coco.
One thing I'll say about insurances for cars and caravans is try to get the one insurance company to cover both, because I was in a situation where I was with Yui and I had a trailer on the back. The trailer broke, and I called up Yui, and they said, no, well, it's not the car. So, but the car was towing it, so they wouldn't cover that, and I had to pay for that out of my own pocket. So I was like, when we get this new caravan, we need to have both the same, and that prevents one insurance company saying it's the other insurance company's fault, like RACV saying, no, it's you're supposed to pick that up because it was the Caravan that caused the accident or whatever. Just eliminate that. Just go with the one company. Try to get a good discount. We're with RACV now, just for the Caravan and car.
And then our roadside assist is with RACV as well. So everything is RACV, and one of the other benefits to that is you get access and perks to their resorts and stuff around Australia,
which is ideal for us. So
Yep.
yeah, do your research, have a look right into it. My only tip would just be stick with the one company that covers you for both.
We don't have health insurance.
No, we don't need it. Like, we're fit as fiddles.
You're right. No, we don't. I've had it in the past, and I think it's a little bit of a rort, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
We do have ambulance cover. We've got family ambulance cover, so if anything goes wrong, we know we're okay. Like, we're going to get help. And then Coco has pet insurance with Bupa. I dropped her insurance back down to the basic level, purely because I wasn't getting much of an incentive for her vaccinations and stuff. Like, sometimes they weren't covered, or I'd only get a minuscule amount back.
There's a loophole behind it all.
Yeah.
You know, they're there to make money, and unfortunately. So yeah, like I said before, do your research, look right into it, work out what's best for you and your family.
Yeah, we're definitely not financial planners or insurers or anything. Do not take financial advice from us at all.
This is just our opinion on what we do.
Catherine's asking, what are our plans for 2025? Are there any more overseas travels planned?
Well, yes, there is actually. Yeah,
there
I
is.
just remember that. There is overseas planned for next year. There's trips to New South Wales that we're doing, which would be an extended trip, one of our longer ones. There's a fair bit happening in 2025. We'll obviously be doing a lot of things around Victoria and just outside of Victoria. We've got to be mindful that we still have Harrison at school, so we're trying to navigate that. We're trying to go overseas, which we've already booked, and we're saving for that. So we're heading to Singapore, and we're on a 13-night cruise?
Yeah, 12 night maybe.
Yeah, it might be 12 nights.
12 days, I don't know.
Cruise, and we'll head from Singapore to Indonesia. There's a few ports at Indonesia that we'll stop at, and then to the top of Australia, so Darwin towards Early Beach, Brisbane,
Cairns,
yeah. So that will be for my 50th, and we've got family coming along for that, so that'll be great. Other than that, who knows? Like, sometimes, like, as I said, like, Laura books a lot of things well in advance, but we are sporadic sometimes. That's why we're called Journey Unknown. So sometimes we don't even know what we're doing.
And you know what? If we have a good month on YouTube, we might go, you know what, let's just go and splurge. Yeah. Like, we might have a weekend away, or we might go to Bali. Like,
yeah, whatever we make on YouTube goes back into travel.
Yep.
So
Sharon's asking, are we going to attempt the lap again? Elizabeth is also asking, are you going to continue a lap next year as it was cut short this year? Yep. Good questions.
Yeah, we'll be definitely doing a lap, whether it's next year or the year after. Most likely not next year.
I think it'll be 2026.
Yeah, with Harrison will be finished school by then, and then we've got the freedom to go.
Before that.
Yeah, well, just before that. So, yeah, 100% we'll be back out there. But we're also trying to promote the fact that not everyone can just take 12 months off and do the lap. So we're mindful of the working life, the family life. The kids got to go to school. So we're trying to showcase the fact that you can actually shoot off and do a couple of months here and there.
A lot of planning goes into it.
Yeah, there's heaps of planning. Hopefully that inspires people to get out there and do exactly what we do.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess us personally, now we've got the Hipcamp here at Buffalo that has to be managed to a degree that we've talked about. We're going to start up the Hipcamp at Ceduna next year, which will also need to be maintained to some sort of level. And then, we've actually got a few other things that we want to do as well. But
it's funny how we get the question about, are you going to do the lap? Because everyone sort of thinks, YouTubers, that's all they do, just the lap and then the lap and then the lap, but they don't. YouTubers, people that we watch will just shoot off and do 6 months and then go back home or go and work somewhere or whatever, because it is a very expensive thing to do, and everyone funds their trip in different ways. So we're fortunate enough to keep all our properties and manage those and also travel at the same time. So it's different. It's a juggling act.
It is. We really want to do it, so
it will happen. It's 100% happening. It's just
we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like there's been many days that we will both finish work and just have one of those days where we go, when are we going? Exactly. Anyway, that's a wrap. That's all the questions.
That's
like
it.
I can't believe how many questions we got.
Felt like about 50.
We had a lot.
Yeah, we had a lot. Like I said earlier, we were blown away with how many questions that we got, because we were literally thinking, you know, what would people want to ask us? You know, like we had no idea. But we're super grateful for your support, and keep following along. Watch our journey. If you've got friends and family that haven't subscribed, give them the heads up and get on board, because this is what we love doing, and we love showcasing all these different places to show you guys and try to get some tips and tricks, and we learn a lot from you too. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this.
Thanks, guys.
Bye
Have
for
a
now.
good one.